In addition to all of the office planning, I did achieve some real work, as I like to call it, on the job site this week. One of the things that wasn't really a big deal as far as doing the work, but is a big deal as far as being able to progress, was the reframing of the walls that are around the location of the new distribution panel that I hope to get from Leviton. The new service rated generator transfer switch and the new PV panel inverter. Now that I've actually selected the equipment that I want to install on all of these items, I was able to obviously get their size and then start planning for the stud bay areas needed for them. Previously, this wall that's at the far end, the door assembly was rotated and it was closest to here. Just for convenience, I wanted to be able to get into the room without going further down the hall. But it became clear that I was going to need more stud bay space for all the electrical components. When I first started this project, I had no idea how big the service rated transfer switches are. And just to give you an idea, it's pretty much the same size as this currently temporary distribution panel. So the plan would be that the service rated transfer switch would go into this bay here and connect with the 200 amp tech cable coming from the meter. The photovoltaic system inverter is going to go into this bay here, and it's going to then feed over to the new distribution panel that is going to go into that bay there. And I've made the bays nice and wide so that there's going to be lots of opportunity to run the conductors around the panels. All of the three devices are going to be attached to a plywood backing like you see here with the temporary panel. And that'll just make things a little bit neater and a little bit easier to run. So like I said, this wasn't a lot of work, but getting to the point where I could finalize this particular wall design was awesome. Also took the opportunity to attach some of the walls to the floor slab via the wedge anchors that are put into the floor plates. That was done in just a few rooms that I happened to be working in anyway. And I also resized the doorway for the sauna. Realized that I could make the door a little bit smaller and have a better interaction with the benches inside the sauna. There's a lot more of the sill plates to attach to the slab throughout the basement. I kind of do this whenever some of the bigger projects are stalled. This is a good filler project for weekends and that kind of thing. And then finally, I resized a wall that's going to be in the shop. Sorry, a stud bay in the shop. The first stud bay here to fit one of the sub panels that will feed the shop equipment and lighting. While I'm here, I may as well also just quickly review. This was the cedar that from the stump tree that I took down in the front yard by the front road. I ended up with two 9 to 10 foot lengths and had it slabbed up into various lumber profiles. And this will be used for various projects. I hope to use some of the 2-inch material for a dining room table, but it turned out really nice and smells wonderful. It'll be probably, it will be too soft for the surface of the dining room table, so my plan would be to nicely oil the wood after polishing it nice and smooth, sanding it and whatnot, and then putting on some form of glass over top of the table surface. Another of the tasks completed this week was the installation of the front entrance light. In my enthusiasm for finishing the exterior insulation, I forgot to put in the conduit for, or the nipple for this light through the insulation and into the interior of the stud bay. Now, if this was in an exposed location, I would have taken the insulation off and put in the nipple so I could seal it to the exterior weatherproof membrane on the outside of the sheathing. But because, as you can see here, it's under a very deep overhang, there's absolutely no danger of any stormwater getting into this area. So I was able to drill through and seal the nipple from the inside, which made it a lot faster and a lot easier. This is the front entrance door, you can see here, and it's got some nice features that I'll show once I've got some more information on the door from the manufacturer and I can properly showcase its installation and whatnot. But it's from Cascadia Windows and Doors. It's a triple pane, and we really like the effect of the light shining through a semi-translucent glass door. It still provides privacy, but we get that light coming in. Here you can see the inboard side of the light assembly. So it's just a electrical nipple that has a wire strain relief attached to it, and it comes through, and then I've sealed it to the inside of the sheathing to provide an air barrier with my favorite ArgGuard joint and seam liquid flashing. What you weren't able to see from the outside is where this cable goes into the conduit from the outside below the light fixture. It is now also sealed around the electrical cable inside the conduit, so it provides that continuity and air barrier. This coming week I hope to work on the non-potable water to the toilet circuits. The water is provided through that pipe that you see coming out of the ceiling of the room below the garage, and that is connected to the cistern out in the front yard that is fed via the water collected around the foundation and pumped up into the cistern before overflowing, the excess overflowing into the district storm sewer. So that's going to be the feed for the toilet circuits in the house, and we're going to have to hang some pipe hangers here and then put in the I'm going to use PVC in this area that is insulated and sealed so that it's vapor tight, because this will the water will be cold in the summertime, creating a condensation risk if there's any air movement to the actual pipe surface. And then for the rest of the house I will switch to an insulated PEX, because again we're going to be dealing with cold water in a warm area. So it's going to come down and feed each of the toilet circuits on each of the floors, as well as feed a tap that I have on each of the roof levels to aid in removing built-up needles and the like. This would be in addition to the compressed air ports that I'm going to have that I talk about above in this blog entry. So we will see how we make out and whether the week goes as per planned.